Right. Yeah, as you can see, it's a bit late, but I mean, not that I've been working late or anything. It's just I'm tired. The Yeah, okay. So I did not record a video last week. The Last week was full of like travel, and so I was busy. But this week, yeah, it's also a bit slow. Okay, so let me just start with last week. So I was in Boston last week. So I went there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, what did I do on Monday and Tuesday? I mean, there's some deadline or the other. So yeah, one of the big uh, deadlines that I was working on was some there was a New Jersey policy lab, like Rutgers New Jersey policy lab, like they have a grant proposal. So I just wrote up something about studying electricity impacts, electricity bills. So the proposal was, I think it's very interesting. Someone needs to do it. Is just ask people to submit their electricity bills and then just look at like how much over the last 2 years or so, how much has the electricity bill been, like something like that. So let's see. I mean, it was a small grant, like 25K or something, but hopefully it's funded and I got some resources to recruit people and all that stuff. Yeah, in general, after my NSF grant has been canceled. It's right, it came right on time. The grant got canceled. I had other grants that also expired. I had a big Google grant, which was free money. I mean, not free money, but money that I could spend on whatever I want. That money got finished. So I'm really like experiencing being poor as an academic in like 5 years now, and like it's really like anything I want to do, I have to think twice and I've cut out projects. I have to think about like, okay, I have to beg my friends, oh, can you fund this part of the project yourself, like instead of me pitching in half of it, things like that, which is very, I mean, I think it's common, but it's new for me and it's a bit unsettling. Also, with travel and things like that, you have to really double think, triple think. Oh, do I have the money? I don't have the money, and that's on the top of my head a lot these days. So yeah, talk about impacts of these funding cuts and things like that. Then so okay, so I'm applying for some sort of funding all the time. Like so, last week there was that, and now because of these AI tools, if you have the idea, you can generate a draft like very easily, right? Like so that used to be like a 2-day thing. If you have to write a 4-page proposal, now it's a few hours. So that's quite good because I have a first draft. Then I was in Boston for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So Wednesday morning, early morning, I took the 8 a.m. flight, and yeah, it was super eventful. Like I met with like 5 people, including my previous postdoc advisor at MIT. Man, yeah, she is like now the director of the center there, and like the kinds of things they can do. I mean, obviously, being at MIT, being a leadership position at MIT, it's just, yeah, it's off the charts. Like she was telling me, oh, she's meeting with the whatever White House officials, and like she works with the people in the nuclear reactors on some shipbuilding and things like that. She's a professor of political science, but I guess I mean it's just like people want to work with you, people want to fund you, people want to be associated with you, and things like that. Like so, it's a the scale and the opportunities are amazing. And obviously, I mean, these are all extremely talented and probably the best of the best kind of people. So yeah, I mean, that was quite good. Talking to her again, like after 4 or 5 years, that's quite good. Then yeah, I met with a couple of old collaborators, some students, and I met like 7 people that I had known in Boston and I met in the past or like not known. I just cold emailed a bunch of people. I mean, that I think is a bit, uh, people will not, do not do that often. I just take the liberty and do it. It's, I don't think it's like people will think I'm a useless asshole for doing it. It's also not that if I don't do it, it's a bad thing. Also, I mean, a lot of these are just for the serendipity, right? Like I just want to talk to people when I have the chance. You know, I went there, I mean, because I could not get the appointment of this professor, my previous advisor, so I had to go there a day in advance, all of that stuff. So I had a lot of free time. So, you know, I think I made use of that time very effectively. It worked out. Like, you know, usually could also not work out, and I just sit and, you know, do something. But yeah, so that was good. I did have a good time there. Then on Wednesday, and then on Thursday and Friday, it was this workshop. I did not know anything about the workshop. It's just, okay, some people at Harvard invited me. I want to go, right? Like, so that was all I knew. It was a very generic thing. It was like, oh, we'll discuss the future of social media research or something like that, like very generic. But, you know, I did not know that, okay, when I went there, it was like the who's who of like, you know, my field in very interdisciplinary, like all the big names, like David Lazar, Josh Tucker, like a bunch of people like that were there. So it was very good, like, you know, very, very high profile event. Apparently, it was by the Kennedy School people at Harvard. And yeah, there were 2 days of very good discussions. I usually, these kind of discussions, I don't really have a very high opinion of, like, because they are usually like, I mean, if you bring together people like journalists, policymakers, academics, obviously, NGOs and things like that, funders too. Like everyone has a strong opinion. Obviously, you know, they're all experts in their own area. They've thought about these kind of problems in the past, so they really have strong opinions, and nothing will happen in 2 days. But I mean, I'm surprised that, you know, even some of the big names, the people I really respect, like were really engaging, and I, I'm pretty sure, like, I mean, as a again, like as a secret academic, like I have very strong opinions, and like you know, when I think about something, I feel like, okay, I've done my due diligence, I know what it is. But a lot of these people that I really have very huge respect, like very big journalists, very big you know, academics, were willing to like engage and talk and like, you know, oh yeah, let's do this based on this idea by this guy, you know, whatever, like things like listening to people like me is was amazing. I think that's a huge positive. And it was also well organized, like very well thought through. There's a an external, like the sort of engagement company that they hired, and they really did a good job. So overall, I don't know if anything positive for me will come out of that, but I think, I mean, all through the event, like I was just thinking, okay, man, I'm in a room with all these big names, right? I I I did not try to like very explicitly network. Like I used to be very, very particular about that. Like if I go to an event like this, that, you know, okay, you know, I have to talk to this person, you know, I have to, whatever, like tell them what I'm doing and things like that. I am almost at a stage where like, you know, I've like, okay, you know, these things, if you have the talent and if you're doing good work, people will know. Like you don't have to constantly be selling. Maybe that's not the, I mean, yeah, so there these sorts of moments in the workshop where like, okay, a lot of these ideas that people are talking about, I've thought through, and like some of them were, you know, ideas that came from me or like that I've thought through independently. So it kind of validates some of the stuff that I think about, but it's also like, uh, yeah, I mean, in the end, like, you know, this is more like a service to the community. If people take these ideas, that's great. Like, if not, I I don't think that sort of validation is any more like that important for me. And on the other hand, like, you know, the reason why these sorts of networking events and explicit uh, trying to network is important is because people's attention and time is limited. So you really want to like if you know there are like 20 Kirans out there, like you know you want to be that one guy like that, you know, that they think about it when they think about a certain thing. And there are many people like me, mediocre like me, right? So anyway, so there were these sort of two thoughts. So one is this sort of like internal push for, okay, I'm done, I don't want to sell, anymore. Like people don't seem to care. People don't care. Like because they're busy. But it's also that okay, I am at a stage where I even if I don't sell, like, and nobody buys that thing, it's maybe okay, like it's not the end of the world, kind of thing. So anyway, so that was a good event. Like so then I had the rest of like it was a 1.5 day event. Like so I had some free time, and then I had a lot of work to be done. Like so I had some PhD thesis evaluation. So I had to read the thesis, and then I had some like faculty, like we were having some faculties and reviewing some of those faculty applications. So yeah, so that was that, and that was the Friday, and then I came back, and the weekend was super busy. We had some like I mean there was Diwali during the weekend celebrations, so yeah, it was quite good. And yeah, I mean also like things like Diwali, like that's the amazing thing about New Jersey is. You really feel that you can celebrate the sort of cultural event like because you have the infrastructure around you, like they sell all the firecrackers and things like that in your normal shop right here, all of that stuff, like so, and all of that, in general, having that community that you can celebrate these kind of things never used to be a thing. Like I there were years, like many, many years, where I did not know that, that was a festival that day, like very big festivals too. Like, yeah, okay, I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, celebrating it is also not a big deal, but yeah, I mean, it was a contrast to some of these experiences that I had previously. Okay, so then this week, yeah, this week has been a bit slow. It's one of those slow weeks before again, like next week and the week after getting very busy. So I'll be visiting Cornell next week. And so I have to do a lot of work for that. Like I'm giving a talk at a colloquium there. So I have the slides, most of them, but I have to add some new results there. I have to update them, make it better. But I also have to develop a full so I committed to like talking in a class at Cornell, Aditya Vasishta's class. I have to prepare all the materials for that class. So yeah, that's a huge thing. So I have to do that. And yeah, so that I'll do probably tomorrow, the day after, like Friday. So I'll leave on Tuesday to Cornell. So hopefully before that I will have to do this. And then I also have another deadline for this uh, journal, IJPP, International Journal of Politics and Policy, something like that. It's on generative AI, a special issue. So we have a paper. They're submitting a paper there, so I have to write that entirely. And then so that's in 2 weeks. So the week after I'll be busy with that. There's I came across another very big grant. Like it's a very, I mean, it's a long shot, but I think, I mean, yeah, I want to apply, but it requires a team and that stuff. Like, so it has to be, it's on the future of AI and like, it's in my area. Like, how do you improve civic discourse? I mean, I don't have a very clear idea what I want to apply for, but I realize that the deadline is in, like, the abstract deadline is in like 2 days, so I have to work on that as well. The In general, this idea of improving civic discourse, I think I've been thinking about this from the GPT-3 days. Like I think when people started talking about, I think Chris Bale and these people had some of the early work in that space on like rewriting content to be less polarizing and things like that. I think that space is like over beaten to death. Like, so I don't, I mean, I have some ideas on like, television and like comparing, I don't know, I mean, the downstream effects of television and like kind of bringing together to a common reality and things like that. So, and we can do that with AI. Let's see, like, I mean, I have the team now. I have to think and write about that. And so that is another big thing that I have to finish by Friday. And yeah, there's another project that I started that is with like ChatGPT data. So I was looking at that data yesterday and today, and we realized there's lots of issues with that data, and I don't know what to do with that. So that's a big problem now. Is it's good that you have these AI tools that can help you do a lot of the heavy lifting. Like I can give it a file, a JSON file, and say, okay, do some initial exploratory analysis. You can do that. But now what happens is that is like, okay, half an hour of your day or 1 hour of your day you can spend on like looking at the analysis or like looking at the code to look at, okay, it's done properly, or telling it, okay, do this kind of stuff. But now, okay, I realized that we got some donations from people, some data donated by people, and but there's lots of issues with the data, lots of like overlap in the data, but it's partial overlap. So I really have to sit down and dig through, and that kind of time is very hard to get, especially like in these sort of unstructured weeks. So yeah, that's another big problem that yeah, it's on the back of my head. So yeah, that's yeah. I mean, it's too much of a very long video, but yeah, this is how last week and this week has been. Hopefully, I'll record something next week. Maybe not, but a week after maybe. But yeah, thanks.